We certainly thank all of you for being here with us this morning. We have a modified crowd since a couple of our commissioners will not be here today. And we're going to ask to modify our agenda today, if you will. First and foremost, recognition of our past BOC members. We're going to table that until our next month's session. Some snafu with regard to getting the word out to those folks that they need to be here. So some might show up and others will not. So we're going to just table that until next month. And our item number 4, closed session, we're going to move that down to the other closed session, item 10. We do all those at once. So with that, if there aren't any other concerns or unreadiness, we'll move right into approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Chair, motion.
So moved.
Been moved and a second is up.
Second.
And properly second to accept the minutes as presented.
Mr. Groover, Ms. Mayo, Mr. Casagrande,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Chairman Fraley.
Aye. Now, item 3 on your agenda, public comments. Do we have any public comments with us here this morning?
Currently, we have 4 public comments. The first is Melissa Bonfiglio from Legal Aid, immediately followed by Zenobia Wilson, and I will announce the next 2 after these 2 speakers have spoken.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I wanted to address 2 topics with the board today. The first are maintenance requests. As everybody knows, Legal Aid represents a lot of tenants who reside in NRHA property, and I certainly appreciate that when anyone from Legal Aid reaches out to property management, that we get a very prompt response in terms of getting issues addressed. But really, tenants should not have to go through a lawyer to get basic maintenance fixed in their unit. Leaking toilets, lack of heat. I'm not seeing the widespread heat outage that we were seeing in Calvert currently, but a lot of tenants have said that their heat kind of works, which is a problem when it is very cold. Many people have heat downstairs, don't have heat upstairs. The heat downstairs is, they can feel that the radiator's on, but it's not warm enough to heat the unit. So everybody is still cold. And as soon as I send a letter, NRHA immediately responds, somebody goes out. But that really isn't the way it should be. Tenants should be able to put in a work order, speak to their property management office, and get those issues addressed promptly on their own. So there's a lot of frustration from tenants on that side. And I think it is important, especially as NRA moves into the next stage of redevelopment, to understand that when tenants don't have their basic needs met, when they don't feel like they have a decent, safe, habitable unit, when they don't feel like they can go to maintenance and their property management office and be treated with dignity and respect, it's very, very hard to have any sort of collaboration or cooperation on behalf of the tenants and the residents. I appreciate all the work that Mr. Norman and the Client Services Group are doing, but people can't focus on improving their financial status, working on resumes, looking for jobs if they are cold and if they feel like the people with whom they interact on a daily basis do not value them and treat them with the dignity and respect that they deserve. The other point I would like to make is about rent receipts. The property management offices have drop boxes where tenants can go in and drop off money orders to pay their rent. That is convenient for many people, especially elderly tenants who don't have email set up, who aren't able to easily pay their rent online. However, and I've had this discussion with more than one property manager, they're told to go in, drop their money order receipts in the drop box, and then, it'll get credited to their account. Under the law, the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act requires that a landlord provide a tenant with written receipt if they pay their rent in money order or in cash if a tenant requests such a receipt. I have had tenants And I've had this discussion with property managers who've gone into the rental office. Instead of putting the money order in the drop box, they walk it over the desk and they ask for a receipt. And they're told, no, put it in the drop box, we'll credit it to your account. Your money order is your receipt. That is not sufficient. As I tell my clients when I'm in court, if all you have to prove you pay your rent is the receipt of the money order that you purchased, that's not going to get you anywhere in front of a judge, because that's not proof that you actually handed the money order over to the landlord. You can buy a money order, you can write NRHA, but then you can keep it and use it for something else. And it is a cumbersome process to track a money order. If a tenant says, I paid with a money order, landlord said, I didn't get the money order, we show up in court. If that tenant has no written receipt, the only option we have at that point is then paying the fee to go through Western Union or however you bought that money order receipt to find out if it has actually been cashed. And again, tenants are not required to do that. If a tenant walks into a property management office and asks, here's my money order receipt, can I please have a receipt? Or here's my money order, can I please have a receipt? I would ask that all property owners or property managers and rental office staff honor that request and provide a written receipt in accordance with Virginia law. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, how y'all doing? My name is Zenobia Wilson. I currently live on Courtney Avenue. I came today to discuss the voucher process. So firstly, I just want to say that I'm a resident of Tidewater Gardens. So I have been displaced at least 4 times since I moved there. This is my 4th time moving. The whole process to get my voucher reissued was tedious and long due to my case being passed back and forth through workers. When I finally did get my voucher reinstated, I was beyond the time for me to move. My house that I was staying in that I got with my voucher failed inspection twice. So NRHA told me, and the guy that I was renting from told me that I needed to move and be out. This whole process has been draining and very much tedious. I literally just got my new place in January due to me being told when I did finally get approved for a place that NRHA has to wait to inspect it. These people took beyond time to inspect my place. I should have been in my new place Thanksgiving. I did not get in my new place until January due to the lack of fastness that I needed them to be. If it wasn't for legal aid stepping in and helping me, I probably would be homeless on the street. So I just come to you guys today to ask that you guys do a little bit of research to help people like me to get their process faster, especially if we have legal aid or representation and you guys still not moving fast. As a Tidewater Park resident, I was supposed to be able to go back to Kindred. As of today, February, my application is still in processing. After I was told that it would only take 3 days to process my application and I should be in and inspected within a month. Today is February. Even with people first helping me, my application is still in quality control. So I ask going forward that when you guys get ready to displace the people out Youngs and Calvary, that you guys do a little bit better as far as getting them prepared, because there is not a lot of available housing for a voucher. They don't even tell you that most of the time, even with your voucher, they still want you to have 3 times the rent. They still want you to have great credit. A lot of people that stay in public housing don't have that and don't even know that they need that to actually get the house that they want. They're under the impression that they're about to get a voucher and you about to get this house and picket fence for you and your kids, and that's not really true. That's not true at all. I applied to multiple places before I was able to get approved at the place that I'm at now. And that's, thank God, they approved me and took me. So I just want to say, going forward with the people that you guys are about to displace, maybe you guys should set up some classes, some type of workshop so they'll know what they're getting into when they get this voucher. Thank you.
The next in-person speaker is Tiara Lassiter. Topic to address is questions about the plan, immediately followed by Raytron White. Topic to address the community.
Left their glasses.
They sunglasses? Are they sunglasses?
Yeah.
They're mine. Thank you. You're very kind.
So, good morning, commissioners and all in the room. I would like to advocate for transparency, clarity, and truth regarding the master plan for the Young Terrence and Calvert Square communities. I have a few questions to address the board with today that residents have asked me. Give people light and they will find a way, Ella Baker. So the first question is this: does the NRHA plan on demolishing both communities? If so, what are the dates for these plans? Residents have mass confusion over whether or not the low-income communities will be demolished or renovated. It's been rumored for at least 30 years that NRHA has plans to tear down all the housing projects. The truth on this issue needs to be addressed. So I need for NRHA to shine the light of truth on this issue and give these people written clarity about the next steps of what is going to happen to them. The second question is this: if demolition is the plan, will the communities be demolished one at a time or both at the same time? It's rumored that NRHA has plans for demolishing both communities at the same time. Some residents have experienced high anxiety over these rumors and misinformation that are going on in the communities. The third question is this: will the NRHA give residents one-for-one housing replacement? Many residents fear the possibility of becoming street homeless. The fourth question is this: did the NRHA inform residents that one must meet qualifications in order to obtain a housing choice voucher, aka Section 8? It's rumored that every resident living in those communities will receive Section 8 during the time of transition, regardless of qualifications being met. So transparency around that is definitely needed. Here is the chance to learn from the mistakes of the past that occurred with Tidewater Gardens and to do something different. I think the NRHA should provide residents with true transparency and clarity around this plan so that people can be better prepared and ready mentally for a move outside of a community that they have never lived in. I also think that by sending out a written notice in layman's terms, addressing their questions, misinformation, and rumors will give them a secure peace of mind at this time, because they are asking me several questions and I don't work for the NRHA and I don't have the answers. So I think they want the answers from the NRHA. Remember, the time is always right to do what is right. Martin Luther King. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
It's just a great month to be alive because it's Black History Month. I had so much stuff to say, but fellow, I call colleagues back there that really love their neighborhood and love Norfolk, has said all I wanted to say. And the big word today should be for the commissioners is communication. I've been saying it since 2 years ago, that our former CEO said he was going to get that done. Apparently it's not done. It's communication to the residents. Just tell the residents what's going on. We want to thank Mr. Mike Clark for stepping in. He got a shoe to fill. He inherited some things, but we just got to tell the residents. It's a lot of stuff going on. We had a meeting last night. A lot of stuff is going on about RAD and all that stuff. But you have to tell the residents what's going on, what has been done, and then it'd be a more respectable the way we're doing things. They can hold out on some things. And Grandy, We only have 2 maintenance. We don't have a admin. I was told that maintenance is in another head of somebody else's now. We can't wait for time. Time is the essence for residents when they're paying their rent and doing the right things in our neighborhood. Just to have a letter, just to tell them, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. We all say we're sending stuff out. Everybody is not equipped with the computer. The seniors last night we talked, I felt really bad for them because some things they're not going to be able to get. And we all have grandmothers. We all have had grandmothers. We all have great aunts. We all have mothers. So I think this Jolly thing needs to be pushed back a little bit so the staff can know what they're doing. Because I did some research and I'll take to you next month about it. But some things that we need to be done, we just need to tell the residents. Just tell them. What are we hiding from them? Just tell them what goes on in the neighborhood and what NRJ is trying to do to make their way of living and their welfare of living to be a better place to live. Stuff goes on, things break, things are old, we know that, but just tell the residents we're trying to do the best we know how and have some staff that have passion for the people. I guarantee you, you'll get the respect. And in Grandy, we just need to have a little bit more loving out there. I am really still fighting for commissioners for that Boys and Girls Club to be a thing of the past so the kids can get back to know how to have a good rec center. I'm really asking, talking with the city about coming back to make sure they can get the hands of it. And I've just been told some things that is just not true, just to get me to be quiet. We're giving the Boys and Girls Club money. Why can we take that money and give it to the city or give it to another plan to get all of the kids into the club, the whole entire family? I've been working hard because I believe if we have better education and recreation, we'll have better kids in the city of Norfolk. I'm sick of them being in the closet or being in their shed doing other things. They could be doing recreational stuff in their own building. And it's for fact. And give me the question I asked months and months and months, almost a year, the facts of who goes in that building, how the contract is written, and when is the contract to be up? What are you all hiding from me? I just want to know, as the leader of that neighborhood, that's to show us so I can tell the residents, hey, this is what's going on. And we should be at the table. We should be the table, what goes in that neighborhood. Thank you all. Happy Valentine's Day. Please to have fun.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Commissioners, we have no additional in-person speakers and there are no comments in the chat.
Thank you for that. Appreciating it. And we appreciate all the public comments as well. It's always worthwhile hearing from our residents. We aren't perfect. We're striving to be. And those areas where we might fall short, we like to know what they are because very often we're not aware of the circumstances that may be experienced by some of our residents. But our residents are our number one priority. We appreciate you folks coming forward, letting us know what the shortfalls may be. And I can assure you in no uncertain terms that we will be addressing those concerns as expeditiously as we can. And we look forward to cooperating with each of you, as well as your residents, to make sure that we are putting in place circumstances and processes that address your concerns. So thank you very much for coming. I think it's a noble effort on your part to share your concerns with us, and we certainly look forward to it. With that, we move on with our agenda. Michael, I think we're down to you, young man. No? Younger than me.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And it's been a while since anybody called me young man, so I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I kind of do prepare when for the ED comments, but every month it seems I'm changing my comments when I get up here, so bear with me for a second. I want to speak briefly to the concerns about maintenance. And when I came back in December, it's like the first thing we were dealing with was the heat outage in Calvert. And one of the things I said at that time, at that meeting, was that while redevelopment is on the horizon and all the pluses that go with that, that we can't neglect our residents now. And, you know, that it's been a cold winter. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to question that. One of the things that we have done, and Mr. White kind of alluded to this in his comments, was we've merged rather our maintenance section with our design and construction section. The idea of doing that, well, the purpose of doing that rather, some of our maintenance needs evolve into more than somebody can just go fix something at that moment. It's a greater need, and a lot of times we've needed to reach out to our design and construction section anyway. It just made sense to merge the two, to cut down the time frame to deal with emergent items, and quite frankly, the time frame just to deal with regular maintenance items. So we've done that. Now we're still kind of aligning as we should, but we've made that transition. We're also hiring maintenance people. We acknowledge what was, again, Mr. White said it, I think it was said earlier, you know, we need our maintenance people, and we are hiring for that. So again, I'm not saying we're perfect, and I'm certainly not saying we got this covered, but we're trying to pivot in a way that at some point I can stand up and say we do have this covered. So yeah, we hear you. There are other comments again with regarding to rent and coming back to St. Paul's. Steve later on is going to give us a preview of a presentation that's coming in March. So again, we hear you. I said, you know, in that first meeting, I'm the interim person, but during my time here, I'm trying to get us to be more proactive in a lot of things, whether it's getting the word out that we need to take the heat offline to make some repairs, whether it's what we're going to do in St. Paul's. I'm trying to be more, to your words, trying to be more transparent. I'm trying to get the word out. Not because of anything like that's what Mike wants to do. No. I'm trying to do this because it's the right thing to do. Okay. Again, there are things I saw when I came back, and I just said, hey guys, let's try something different. Anyway, moving on. So today, you know, we're kind of, and some of our new commissioners speaking to you, we're moving into a busy time of year for the authorities. Annual plan process kicks up, the budget process kicks up. So I wanted to ask the respective chiefs to kind of give a quick overview so you know kind of like milestones that are coming up, dates that are coming up. I also want to take a minute and acknowledge, and I'm going to embarrass a few people, our new interim executive staff, if I could. Karen Rose, who is serving as our interim chief housing officer. Sean Easter, who is serving as our interim chief administration. And Steve Morales, who's going to serve as he's been our chief development officer, but he's also serving as our deputy ED at the time. So with that, again, we hear your comments. We take them seriously. As we go on in the upcoming months, we're going to make other changes. You'll find we'll make you aware of those. You know, it takes a minute to turn an organization like this. I'm not asking for any forgiveness. I'm just saying, please acknowledge that that's what we're trying to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions, commissioners, of Mr. Clark? Comment, criticism, suggestion? Thank you. We got some agenda items that we'd like to hear from today. Michael just mentioned Miss Easter. So Kashawn, we're gonna turn it over to you and let you dazzle us with your brilliance.
Hey, good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
It is my pleasure to bring to us a snapshot of our budget development process. I'll speak up a little bit, too soft. Let's get a little closer. How about that? All right. Our budget development process, just want to give a brief overview of what that process looks like. I know we have several new commissioners. We also have new staff in different positions, and this may be their first time going through that budget development process. So if you would, please, we just want to let you know that the budget development process is a formal method to establish priorities and goals to make sure we're in line with the vision of the organization. The process began this year in January and ends in June with a formal review process and submission to HUD. As in previous years, the information is delivered to the board through a series of monthly budget meetings in which we share discussion and presentation that allows us to have meaningful dialogue, get input and direction on where we want to go for the upcoming year. In the budget calendar, it is displayed. You will see that we did distribute packages already in January. We have begun monthly meetings with our staff. We offer weekly virtual meetings that allow the staff to chime in and listen to any concerns or questions and receive live guidance on their budget packages as they work through them. The budget package submission date, the final date is February 27th. We did a phased approach with that so that not all departments are submitting their packages at the same time. They have time to work through them and allow us time to accumulate that data as it comes in. In March, we're going to have a presentation or preliminary review of revenues and expenditures. After we have all that information collected, what does it look like? What analysis look like so we know which direction we need to go? That will also give us time to address things that are happening right now with organizational changes, okay? Budget assumptions, reorganizations, any policy changes that may be needed. In April, after we've had a chance to look at those, we take a look at balance and strategies. Now that we know what our shortfalls look like, what do we need to do to meet those? How do we make this happen? Everything that you may have asked for in your wish list, can we actually do it? Or do we need to find some other way to try and fund that or rearrange that? All right. We present a proposed budget in April. We also do a proposed workshop with our Finance Committee, Board of Commissioners Finance Committee. And if they choose to bring that further to the board, we'll do so. But we get highlights there. Present a proposed resolution. We allow time in May for advertisement with the public hearing. This allows us to hear your comments, your concerns, and to give your input. And we allow time for advertising to take back and consider those and include those in the budget should we need to. Finally, in June, we have the approved budget. This is done with a public hearing, a presentation of the resolution. And by June 30th, we need to have all of that approved information to HUD to let them know what our recommendation is for the approved budget. Any questions on that calendar? Okay. I would like to acknowledge our budget staff, Mr. Ron Ho. He's our budget manager in the department. I believe he's upstairs live. And also I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Patrice Miller. She's a staff accountant that is cross-training in budget. So we want to make sure staff is fully prepared.
Thank you, Ms. Easter.
Thank you, yes. Get my glass.
Mr. Steve Morales.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm just going to give a quick update. Actually, an item that we were looking to bring to the board today is actually a presentation from the city USI for the People First information, the 6-year report. We've delayed that until next month because we wanted to have all board members present. Also, as part of that, we'll have Dr. Susan Perry and Marcia McGill from the Department of Housing and Community Development from the city, and they were going to give a full update on all the city projects as part of the Tidewater or Kindred development, where we're going to be talking about the phase 2 infrastructure. the Blue Greenway, as well as the critical community improvements, basically some public arts and other pedestrian wayfinding that will be done as part of the project. Those items will come to the board next month for an overall presentation. Next, the other item that we want to talk about today is just a briefing that's in your packet is the annual plan. So we are in the annual plan process where for the authority for our public housing and our Section 8 program, we have a 5-year plan, and that is addressed and updated annually. And so we have a process where we go before our resident advisory board. We have come before the board itself, have public hearings, and we have a schedule on when we're doing that. We're in the plan process now. We're getting ready to release a draft of the plan this tomorrow. And that will be out for a 45-day comment period. In that same period, we'll be doing a presentations before the resident advisory board meeting and go over all the changes that are being proposed. We'll also be coming to the board in March, and we'll actually have a public hearing as well as a meeting at the March 12th board meeting, and we'll probably be holding that. We will be holding that over at the Murray Center so that we have a larger room and, in a sense, a better facility for getting public comment along the plan. And then after those sessions, as we get various comments in and we need to make any adjustments and changes, those will be done between the public hearing period up to the March 29th, when all the public comments are due. And then we'll be back to the board on April 9th for your action through resolution on the annual plan. Again, this is an annual process that the NRHA is required to do as part of our delivery to HUD for our plan. Comments. So we just want to give you a preview of the schedule today. The draft document is actually in your packets.
Steve, you guys revisit this 5-year plan on an intermittent basis?
Annually, we have to go through it. So again, the capital fund plan in there, any changes to to our overall goals or initiatives. Noted earlier is what is the authority's intent with Young and Calvert? It's actually in the annual plan. It's been in the annual plan for years. We specify the authority's goals and intent with our large-scale transformation programs. They're all in there. So if we're doing a RAD conversion, if we're doing a redevelopment, it's in our annual plan.
How does public have access to this?
It is actually, we have, it'll be out at all of our communities, and then we have other sites across the city where there'll actually be printed versions. It'll also be up on our website. And so we can provide it in both hard copy as well as electronic. And so that is displayed again, in each one of our community property management offices. They will have a copy for residents to look at, but the best way probably would be online.
I would note for the commissioners, it's page 15 of 112, just in case you guys were poking around in there looking at that. But I'm assuming for the residents, it'll be easier to find. Okay, thank you very much, Steve.
And commissioners, I've asked Steve, and I hope I'm not speaking out of school here. We spend a lot of time on St. Paul's. We talk about it. We're always concerned about what the progress is. And I would like us to have a field visit over there at some point in the near-term future. What's going on? How far along are they towards completion of what they're doing? What anticipations do they have in terms of units being made available for occupancy? And of course, the Blue Greenway is probably the big physical thing that needs to take place. Where are we on that? How is that going to impact us? And how is it going to impact surrounding properties? And, what value does that provide in terms of making that a comfortable, more welcoming, and adding to the quality of life space over in that area? So I think it would do us well to not only hear the verbiage, but to see some of the physical things taking place as a result of the things that we talk about here. So Steve, along with the ED, will be working on putting something together on that. Won't be next week. as we might want to wait for a warmer climate, but
Thank you.
nonetheless, I think it's important that we do that. And it's not going to be mandatory for those who want to come, just to walk through there, talk to the developers, if you will, and those in charge of the project physically, and find out just what their timelines and aspirations are and how that impacts what we hope to see long term. So I'm a touchy-feely type of person, and you can tell me that the house is on fire. I get a better feel for it when I can see the fire.
We're happy to organize a tour. Also, we don't have the date yet, but a big item, and we'll actually be including our RAB group as part of it too. But our expectation is that we're going to have a ribbon cutting for the new buildings that have just recently opened, which we're in the completion of lease up now. That ribbon cutting will either be at the end of March or the beginning of April. So we're in that discussion now. But as part of that, we definitely want to invite a broader community out to see the Kindred project and how it's moving forward. We've given presentations before the board in the last couple of months, and we'll continue to do that on the progress. But just as you know, phase 2 of Kindred was just completed. We're in phase 3 construction, and phase 4 is we are trying to get that through the finance so that we can get that closed. Or I should say Brinshaw is the developer. But it's all moving forward. There's a huge infrastructure in Blue Greenway stormwater component. And you're going to hear at length about that and see the breadth and extent that the city is going to be doing over there. That really is part of the huge transformation over there, as well as I noted, USI coming over about their people first services, about the services that are available to the former Tidewater residents. So it'll be great information for the board. And again, we're looking forward to, we enjoy having folks come out to the community to do the tours. If you haven't been over to Reunion and Origin, I absolutely welcome it, encourage it, and we will organize a tour. Absolutely, because we put the photos in our packets before. They don't do it justice. The difference over there is transformative. So definitely, we'll work with the chair to get something set up.
Thank you for that, Steve. Any questions or comment, commissioners? Thanks, Steve. Board committee updates. Do we have any? Do we have hard and fast schedules for our committees? That in place by next month?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Chance meets the Monday before this meeting. But the
Richard's
staff's
on top
already
of
shared
things,
everything.
right? Thank you, commissioners. Commissioner comment. Any comment from any commissioners? So it was a wise choice on our part, and it's beginning to pay off. And hopefully we can continue to see to it that it pays off appropriately. It is our incumbency to support him in any way that we can. And so the circumstances are such that he carries through and implements the processes. We kind of set the overall oversight view, if you will, for what those processes need to be. So with the working relationship with the board, the ED and his staff, senior staff, as well as those on down the organization, we've been doing this too long to not be right sometimes. And I'm convinced we're right most of the time. Certainly we have some shortfalls. We're going to have to address those. And we're going to strive for perfection, recognizing that that's a goal and not a destination. So for us, it's just a matter of not losing sight of the fact that our residents are our priority. As long as we keep that focus, all the other very important things that we have to address can be addressed. But if we don't take care of residents, we've fallen short immensely, and our usefulness becomes moot. So the circumstances of us being here is let's not lose sight of the role that we're here to accomplish, and that's serving the residents. Do we have any other commissioner comments? Hearing none, I think we're ready for closed session, Ms. Carn.
Resolution convening a closed meeting on February 12, 2026. Be it resolved that the authority will convene in a closed meeting pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as amended to discuss the following matters which are specifically exempted from public disclosure by the code sections referred to below. Number one, personnel matters involving the assignment, appointment, promotion, demotion, performance, salaries, or resignation of employees of the authority as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Act. Number two, discussion and consideration of the disposition of publicly held real property as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A3 of the Act. And number three, consultation with the authority's legal counsel regarding actual or probable litigation and legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by counsel as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A7 of the Act. May I have a motion, please? A second, please?
Second.
Mr. Groover?
Aye.
Ms. Mayo?
Aye.
Mr. Casagrande?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Chairman Fraley?
Aye.
Thank you.
We are in special session. Yes. You see,
I was just gonna say we 2-minute break.
Yeah.
Okay.
2-minute break and back with special session. Someone who has some personal needs here.
Resolution certifying a closed meeting on February 12, 2026. Whereas the authority has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the 1950 Code of Virginia, as amended, requires a certification by this authority that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore, upon motion duly made and seconded, be it resolved that the authority hereby certifies that to the best of each commissioner's knowledge, number one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. And number two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the authority. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Groover?
Aye.
Ms. Mayo?
Aye.
Mr. Casagrande?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Chairman Fraley?
Aye. And if I'm not speaking out of turn, Ms. Carnes, I think that completes our agenda for the day.
We have a resolution.
That's right, yeah, excuse me.
Yes, we're back to the agenda item 5
Yeah.
with regard to
That
a
resolution.
resolution authorizing additional collateral for Sykes. If anyone has any question or wants to discuss the resolution, we can do that now, or we can vote.
This is a resolution adding additional collateral using the 910 Valentine Boulevard location as additional collateral for the loan to support the renovation of the Sykes complex. Is there any unreadiness? Any unreadiness?
I move for vote.
Have a second?
I second.
Thank you.
Mr. Groover?
Aye.
Ms. Mayo? Mr. Casagrande?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Chairman Fraley?
Aye. Now I can say.
Yes, sir.
I believe that our agenda has been completed. The chair will entertain a motion for adjournment,
I so move.
and we have a
Second.
properly second. Hearing that, we stand adjourned. Thank you.